This is the story
Recording
of
in
work.
progress.
It started a long time ago, on a Monday, which was handy. For as long as history itself, the humans needed to work. They wanted to work, to grow things and create things and build things, to see what they were capable of, to stand at day's end and say, I did that, which felt pretty good. So they worked more, built more, and created more, and traveled to far-off places. And then someone suggested submitting expense reports for those far-off places. His name was Glenn, and he was a jackass. Anyway, the people kept getting better at work. They built better tools to work more efficiently. They built amazing machines to work faster. They built computers to work smarter. But still, they couldn't do enough work. Because during all that work to do more work, they had created work, and not the good kind. Not the let's sit around and come up with ideas kind. Not the I can't wait to get to work so I can jump into a new project kind. The crap kind. The drudge and data and admin and the damned expense reports. So the humans had to work more at work they didn't like. That made them robotic. That didn't inspire. They had to postpone vacations. They had to miss family dinners. They were pissed. And then something happened. Someone had a really amazing idea. They came into work and said, stop working and start working. The humans thought she might have had wine at lunch, so she showed them a way to put the fun back into work, to waste less time doing the things they hated, to make more efficient the big tasks, to stop making the humans act like robots and start teaching the robots to learn the humans. Not to replace people, but to free them. Even Glenn. Robots that learn you. Imagine the potential, like starting over, to help us remember again that work only really works when we're happy at it.
Okay, welcome back. So that was a nice video. I never get tired of watching it. So what actually is RPA? RPA is a technology that allows a software program to mimic human actions while interacting with computer applications and digital systems to accomplish required tasks. Now, from what I've just said, it means if you want to apply RPA to any business process, then that business process must involve you using digital systems or computer applications. And some of the human interactions that can be implemented include tasks that involves keyboard input. So you want to enter information into a form, into the CRM, mouse movements and clicks. You want to use your mouse to interact with UI elements on your screen, be a web page or the interface of a desktop application or a web application. Also reading computer screen. You may have a form on the screen, a PDF file. You want to get information, specific information from the file and use it for something else. So all these business processes or tasks are possibilities for RPA. So if you can do something, I normally tell people that if you as a human can do something on a computer application, and that computer application, whether it has an interface or it's runs on the background, you need to use APIs, that you can automate it using RPA. But let's go deep and see what RPA is not. There are some myths about RPA. One of them is when people hear robotics or robotic process automation, they think that RPA is a humanoid robot, or like your R2-D2 from Star Wars or the CP30 from Star Wars. RPA is not a robot, a hardware robot, whether it is shaped in the form of a human, like you can see on the screen, or any other form. RPA is not. Then a second myth people have about RPA is that it's a human replacement or it's a replacement for humans. That's not the case. Actually, from the video you've just watched, you would have realized by now or observed, if you listen carefully, that robots are meant to work with humans to put the phone back to work. Now, if you have repetitive, boring tasks at work, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, there's not that spark, that energy, that vibe in you to want to quickly get to your desk at work and do what you need to do. So when you have things that you do repetitively, day in, day out, it becomes boring, it becomes monotonous. And so the purpose of RPA as a technology in companies, organizations, or even in your personal life is that you have a robot do the mundane, boring, repetitive task, and you are free to put your creativity, allow your creativity to fly and put your creativity at work. Now, a third myth is that RPA is just about cost saving, which is not. RPA has so many benefits beyond just saving costs for you as a person or for you or your company as a business organization. So we're going to be seeing some of these benefits upfront as we go on in this session. Now, moving quickly, what can software robots do for us? So like we've said, RPA is a technology that allows compute software robots to mimic humans. So what can software robots do for you? Some of these tasks will involve, like you can see on the screen, software robots can log into any application. It doesn't matter whether it's a web application or a desktop application. And even if such an application, it's possible for that application to use a software token application. I've had situations where a robot can log into a token application, get a token and log into the application proper. So a robot can do that. A software robot can also help you to move files and folders, extract contents from PDFs, like I mentioned earlier, from emails. You have a business process or task where you need to open emails and download attachments. Those attachments could be invoices or application forms, so on and so forth. And you can have a software robot do that. You can also have a software robot script data from the web. It could be an e-commerce site. You want to get the latest price for a particular product. You want to get the current weather for a particular city or location in the world. You want to get a table of information from a site that published it. Even if you want to make calculations, you want to read and write a database, these and more are some of the tasks that software robots can do for you. So based on what we've been saying so far, you could see that it's very important for you to begin your RPA journey and begin to learn these soft skills, digital skills that will enable you build robots that can help you in your personal life or help you at work. Now, what are the major advantages of RPA adoption by business? Some of the prime advantages you can see on the screen. One, increased execution speed. Now, for humans, when you start a particular business task that is repetitive, possibly the first one you do, you'll be fast, the second one, the third, the fourth, the fifth. But as you go on, weariness begins to set in, fatigue begins to set in, and the time you may spend doing the 15th or treating the 15th item on your queue may be much more longer than the time you spend doing the very first one. But software robots don't get tired, they don't get fatigued, they don't go on strike, they don't sleep at night. And so apart from that, they can do the job that you assign to them in as speedy as possible. Then apart from that, software robots have increased or enhanced accuracy. And so if you automate a business process, and because the robot doesn't get tired, doesn't forget, then of course the level of accuracy for that business process is increased. So there's not the possibility for your robot to say it forgot a particular value or it forgot what to do at a particular point in the business task or process. Now, if you work in a department where you have regulations from your compliance unit, SLA, service level agreements, there are particular business tasks that you're supposed to respond to within a period of time. Now, if you have a software robot doing that particular task or helping you automate some portions of the business process you are involved in, it means if you add the increased execution speed and the accuracy, then of course it means you're going to meet any time frame you are given to comply or achieve or treat a particular business case or task. And apart from that, we mentioned before reduced costs. So if you imagine you have a couple of things on your queue at work that you need to treat. And when you were doing it alone, you possibly could treat 10 of those cases a day. Now, if you have a software robot doing some portions of that business task for you or process for you, then you could do more in a day. Now, imagine if it's a customer interfacing business process that you're involved in. It means you're going to attend to more customers a day. And then it means that if there are reduced errors, then there will be the reduced chances or reduced possibility of you trying to redo something that has been done before because there are errors. That can happen if a human being is involved. But for a robot, there will be no need for you to repeat such things because your error rate is very, very minimal. And so that reduces your cost of process execution because, one, you don't repeat tasks, you don't repeat processes or treat the same case over and over again because of errors, and you can do more in a given period of time. And apart from that, another benefit of RPA adoption in your personal life or in your business is easier scaling. Now, take for instance, if you have a business process and you have one employee involved doing that business process, if there's much work to be done and you need to increase the number of persons doing that, there's the cost and the time that will be spent for you to train a second person or a third person or a fourth person, teaching them what to do. And for the first few days or weeks, they may make mistakes until they get used to doing the process. But if you have a software robot doing a particular process, let's assume that you have customer complaint tickets that needs to be logged to the company's CRM. As long as the process has been built and the robot is doing it, it's easier for you to add another robot. You don't need to be the second process. You don't need to be the third process. You just add as many robots you want to do to treat that business process. And you have scaled that task, the automation of that task as easy as possible. Now, let's look at the processes best suited for RPA. How do you look at the business process and come to the conclusion that this is the business process at my place of work that I can automate? Now, we have 3 basic rules. The processes need to be simple, they need to be structured, and they should be processes that are done on digital systems or computer applications. The very first feature or characteristic of a process best suited for RPA is that the process is repetitive. Now, if you have a task that you need to do multiple times, take for instance, let's use the email invoice via email example again. And so you have clients or customers or vendors that are sending their purchase orders to a particular email address, and you need to get certain pieces of information or data from those invoices, possibly put them into an Excel sheet and mail that Excel sheet to a supervisor. Now, what you do on one purchase order is what you're going to do even if you have 500. You're going to repeat that in 500 times. If you have 1,000 emails, you're going to do that 1,000 times. So that is a business process or task that is suitable for RPA, suitable for automation, because you're going to get a bot to do that thing again and again, and frees you from doing that mundane task for you to do something that a human should do and gets you creative at work. Now, a second characteristic is that the process of the business task must be rule-based. So there must be a well-defined logic as to how the process is done. Meaning, okay, for instance, if I open the purchase order and the total amount there is over $1,000, I should send it to the MD for finance. But if the amount is less than $1,000, I should send it to this other department. So that's such a business that has well-defined rules, and you can automate those rules into the business process, and the bot will be able to do what it needs to do, given the conditions it evaluates to. Okay, and then the last one, or last characteristic for a process that's very suited for RPA is that the data involved to be structured. So it means if you're picking pieces of information, for example, from a PDF file, those pieces of data are at given locations. They are not scattered around. If you're picking information from a website, you know that piece of information is in a given place. If you are reading an invoice, that information is structured, meaning every time you get that data at that given location. Okay, so if you have a business process that involves structured data, you can easily automate it using RPA. Now, these benefits we talked about and processes that we've said are best suited, they are examples of where RPA are deployed in business departments. You may belong to some of these departments you can see on the screen, on your screen. For finance, process to pay, most of the processes involved with finance or with accounting will involve the use of Excel automation. You want to automate desktop applications like your SAP or other ERP systems in your organization. Someone saying something? Can you mute yourself?
Hello?
Okay, muted him. Okay, for supply chain management, you deal with ARP systems as well. So you can automate the business task that takes place on those processes, whether it's invoice or contract management. Sometimes this may even involve you using Microsoft Word. So UiPath's RPA platform is well integrated with your Microsoft Office suite or your Google suite. And so you can automate most of the business tasks that takes place in your organization or in your department. Even when it comes to IT, people want to raise complaints, tickets about their IT services in their department. You can easily have a software robot that takes all those tickets, logs them onto the platform, and looks at the severity level and determines whether to route the urgent cases to someone else or who should be responsible for several complaints based on the severity level. Then for HRO, of course, payroll, onboarding, offboarding, you have, for example, you have a situation where so many persons apply for a job and they've been interviewed and some of them are taken. You need to onboard them. You need to send them their offer letters. And those offer letters, of course, will have to be done on Microsoft Word, and they need to convert to a PDF and mail to the person. Imagine if you have 500 persons or 1,200 new employees you want to onboard. It means you will need to send an offer letter to each person. But even though the structure is the same, there's going to be a difference in terms of their names, their email addresses, their positions, and so on and so forth, salary structure, benefits, and so on. That goes with a regular offer letter. And you have to do this for 1,200 persons. This is something that you can easily automate in your department if you are in an HR department. Client services, operations, account receivable, accounts reconciliation, bank reconciliation. These are examples of business departments where you have business tasks or processes that RPA can be very useful to you. Just automate them and you are good to go. So at this point, we're going to quickly go to our Menti quiz. Christina, over to you. And stop sharing. Hi, Christina.
Just a minute, yes.
Okay.
Let's go to the Menti tab. Okay. Okay, a bit. So everyone should now go to www.menti.com. I will also write that in the chat. And don't worry, we will wait for everyone to get in the quiz room. And you also have a code, which is the code you see on screen, 51000566. So you should paste this code to get into the quiz room, 51000566. Wait, I think I'm going to message the code to everyone so you can copy paste it. Okay.
So we have 55, 56.
Yes. So we have 127 people in the session. We should have at least 60 in the Menti quiz. We have already 68. Okay, so we're doing good. Let's see how many more come up in the quiz room. So this will be the first 2 questions of the Menti quiz, and we will have 2 more questions towards the end of the session before Q&A. So you have to go through all the 4 questions if you want to win. We will give away free vouchers today. So we will have 3 winners. You will see in the leaderboard, which will be the main positions, the 3 top runners. Not able to enter the code. You should try from mobile, Madura. So try to enter from mobile, www.menti.com, and just copy paste from chat the code. It's easier to join from mobile than it is from a desktop. Tell us whether you managed. Okay. Okay. So we're at 91 now. Okay, now we're seeing who pays attention to the session. And suddenly also our numbers went up for the session. We're 129 now.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, did everyone manage to join? Everyone who wish to join the Menti quiz? And don't forget, once you join the quiz room, if you leave the tab open, you will remain in the quiz room, so you will not need to join the second time. But anyway, we will give again the link and the code the second time around. Okay, Madura, great. So Madura also joined. I think we can start the quiz now. And let's go to the first question. Don't forget, Mentimeter is all about answering fast. So which of the following is an action a software robot cannot mimic? Log into any application, extract content from emails and forms, design a cape for Spider-Man. Are you sure Spider-Man had a cape? Okay, that's a great answer. Yeah, everyone, you got that right. So yes, a robot cannot design a cape for Spider-Man. Not now, but who knows in the future. Yeah, let's see who are the top 3 runners now. You will see this leaderboard after each question. It will change, so it's dynamic. It won't be the same. Okay, so we have Nasli, Nurain, and Andra. Nasli is the fastest. Let's go to the next question now. Don't forget again, answer fast to get more points. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a process best suited for RPA? Repetitive, non-digital manual tasks, rule-based. So this is an exception question. Yes, it's not a characteristic for best suited for RPA. Okay, perfect. Even better than the first one. Yes, non-digital manual tasks are not best suited as a process for automation. So you got that right. We'll see the leaderboard after the second question, and then I'm going to hand over to Afe to continue the session. Mostly the same, but we have a change. So Anjali is new in top 3. Okay. Okay, so congrats for the first 3 now, but don't forget this is dynamic, so everything can change within the next 2 questions. As you have seen, we already had a change from the first 2 questions. Now I'm going to stop sharing and we'll go back to the session. Thank you everyone for participating.
Okay, let's continue. Right, so let's quickly have a chat about UiPath as an organization, and then we'll move towards seeing how, for those of us who are yet to install Studio, we'll create our cloud automation cloud accounts, and then we'll have our community license. We'll download the installer for Studio, install it, and set it up for our next sessions or for whatever automation we want to do. So UiPath was founded in Romania, and over, as you can see on your screen, from 2005 up till the current year, the company has grown and has really given us a beautiful tool or a suite of products that we can use to arrive at the current mission, which is the fully automated enterprise. So beyond traditional RPA, We now have AI, natural language processing and machine learning models incorporated with traditional RPA so that we can automate much of our businesses as much as possible. Okay, so the vision of the company has changed over the years based on the targets were met, and the organization grew from strength to strength. From our vision, it's a robot for every person, to automation first mindset. And now we're talking about to deliver the fully automated enterprise. Now, without wasting time, let's look at the traditional component or the core components of our traditional RPA as far as the UiPath platform is concerned. So see on your screen, we have Studio, which you will be installing in this session for those of you who are yet to install, and then Orchestrator, which you have access to by virtue of your Automation Cloud account, and then Robot, which is going to be the software application that run the processes that you've built on Studio. So on Studio, you design your automation workflows and you use minimal code. And then you deploy that business task you've automated from Studio to Orchestrator. And from Orchestrator, you can manage your robots or your digital workforce. You can schedule robots to run. You can look at your logs and a couple of other things, but basically control, manage, and monitor your robots. And it's also the Uipath Assistant that is an offshoot of your Orchestrator that can help you from your task bar run processes that you want to run. And then it means look at the screen from Orchestrator, execution is done of all whatever robots or process you want to run or whatever job you want to run. And that execution is taken up by the robot, which executes your workflow and instructions that you have built. These are the three core components of the UiPath platform. There are others that come out. You have UiPath apps, you have the data service, you have AI center, and so on and so forth. Okay, now these three are what you need to know for now if you want to start your RPA journey as a citizen developer. So who is a citizen developer? A citizen developer is a business person, a non-technical person. You don't need to know how to write code. You don't need to have learned a programming language, but you know how a business task or process works. Now, whether we like it or not, even if you have an automation unit in your organization, you as a subject matter expert for the business processes that you are involved in day to day, you are more knowledgeable in that business process than the RPA, the core RPA developer. And so the reason why UiPath wants to bring forth this product, StudioX, is so that citizen developers or business users in their various departments who are subject matter experts can easily automate their business tasks, even though they have no programming experience or knowledge. And so you can use your skills to create simple automations for yourself or for other persons in the organization, and that gives you or frees you to have more time for higher value work. So what can you do as a citizen developer? Number one, remember we said you don't need to have a programming experience. You can learn how to build and run robots. That makes your work life better. You can automate everyday work you do. You can learn about the other products on the platform that can help automate that can help improve your automation experience. Like I mentioned before, Uipath Assistant and Uipath Automation Hub. You can take part in knowledge sharing sessions and groundbreaking discussions, join a UiPath community chapter around you, and attend webinars and so on and so forth. So if you do all of these, make use of all the products and resources that UiPath has made available, UiPath Academy, UiPath Forum, join the UiPath community chapter and so on, you're going to build your experience and build your skill as a citizen developer, and you'll be able to create simple automations that can make your work life better. Okay, so with StudioX, business users get a no-code platform that you can use to automate your tasks. We're going to be doing a short demo very soon, and as we move on to the other sessions for this program or event, you're going to learn UI automation. You're going to learn how to automate Word and Excel. You're going to learn how to automate Outlook and other email applications. Okay, so let's move on now. For those of us that are yet to install UiPath Studio and the necessary plugins, we want to see how we can do that. Now, I'm going to copy these and put on the chat for those of us who are yet to install Studio or create the cloud automation cloud account. So if you put that link on your browser, let's see. So because my own account is already open here, it's going to take us there. So I'm going to open it on another browser, and so that we see what we're supposed to see as a beginner. Oh, sorry. I think I need to use to window. Okay, so this is what you see. So how many persons, let's see, how many of us here are yet to install Studio on our machines? If you have been able to install Studio, can you say install? Can you type install on the chat so that we have an idea? Okay, installed, Amel installed. Okay. Wow, wow. Okay, some persons, Deepak is yet to install. Wow, kudos to you guys. You guys are champions. You've been able to do this by yourself. Wow, you're going to go far on your RPA journey. You're really going to go far on your RPA journey. Okay, so I just have one person who says he's yet to install Studio machine. At least for those who have Windows. Sorry guys, for those on Linux. Okay, we'll just quickly run through a repeat of what many of you have already done. Yes, Neste, I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. Yes, it's Studio, but part of this session, we're going to show you how to switch to your StudioX profile. Yeah, we're going to show you how to switch to your StudioX profile. So just be calm. I'm going to get there. Okay, so it means I have the freedom and liberty to breeze through what you need to do to install, at least for those who say they are yet to install Studio on their machine. So if you take the link I've shared on the chat, I'm going to share it again. Thank you, Nidhi, for that remark. So I'm sharing it again. It's going to bring you to what you can see on my screen, right? And so if you have a Gmail account or email address, you could just continue with Google. But some persons want to take ownership or control over their username and their passwords. So if you are that kind of person, you can continue with email. So I'm going to use this as a use case for this demo. You type your email address here, and then you type a password. And after you type a password, you need to meet these characteristics or these conditions. Okay, so let me type one that meets that. Okay, let's say so. You see, I've done that. So your password strength should be strong, minimum 8 characters, at least 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, 1 special character, and at least 1 number. So when you click on this, you're going to receive a notification email in the email address you have used. Right? So let's do this. This account already exists. So let me use one that does not exist. See? Do this. And let me make sure I take notes of the password. Okay. I'm going to pull that here. Okay. So this is the next thing you see. Like I said, you're going to get an email notification for you to verify your stuff or your accounts. So I'm going to go here now and see. Sorry, let's see. Okay, so I have it here. So I'm going to copy the hyperlink, come back here. Okay, so navigate to the original setup page. So since my email is verified, let me refresh again and see. I hope it's not because I'm using incognito. Let me do that. Try to verify again. Okay. So this should. Okay. I think what I'll do is to open another profile here. Okay. RPA Summer School 2022. Done. Okay, it is open now, finally. So you're going to type in your name. Let's say type this, and I type this. So you need to select your country or region. So I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm going to select that, then check this so that you get informed about your Uipath products. So many updates and new information coming out. You want to, if your RPA journey, you want to be on top of your RPA journey and you want to be as good as possible, you need to check this checkbox. Please do that. And then once you do this, you can type the name of your organization. Let me use initials of my name, and then you create. So you wait a while, and Uipath is going to set up a couple of things for you, for your platform. So what we've basically done is to sign up for an automation cloud account. And remember those three core components of the Uipath platform. So via these accounts, you're going to get access to Orchestrator. You're going to get access to Orchestrator. You're going to get access to document understanding. You're going to get access to integration service, Uipath apps, and a couple of other products from the stables of Uipath. Now, when you get here on the home screen of your Automation Cloud account, you're going to see download Uipath Studio. So for those of you who are yet to install, or for those of you who have already installed, you clicked on this, and then it downloaded. It's going to take a couple of minutes, but once you have it, you only need to double click on it to install. Okay, so when it installs, you're going to open Uipath Studio from your start menu, right? Now, once you click on that, there are a couple of things you also need to set, like your Uipath extension. So if you use Prone, you need to this button here will look like this, install. You will need to click on the install button to install the UiPath extension for Chrome. This is what is going to allow your robot to connect with your browser for you to automate things on the web. Okay. Okay. Then, if you use Edge.
Afet, can you please go again through the extensions? Because they're asking for another show. Yeah, please. Okay,
so when you open UiPath, when the application, your desktop application, you're going to see something like this. So you see this vertical menu on the left. You're going to see tools. If you select the tools option, sometimes it opens to apps. So under tools, you go to UiPath Extensions. So I come again, tools, UiPath Extensions. And then you see a couple of UiPath extensions, not only for browser, but for Java, Citrix, and so on. Now, the one you want to install, if you use Chrome, then you click on the install button for Chrome. If you prefer using Edge, you click on the install button for Edge. If you prefer using Firefox or so Edge, Chrome, and Firefox, any one of that. Then another thing you need to install is your Excel add-in so that you can do Excel automation. So for those of you who have installed Studio, please, it would be nice for you to install your browser extension and the Excel add-in so you can participate in the hands-on sessions that are coming up next. For the next session, Nidhi is going to be teaching you how to do UI automation. And you will really need, for you to do web automation, you really need the extension for your favorite browser to be already installed. Okay, Adrian is saying I should wait for 2 minutes. Amel, my company has a pre-installed StudioX and there's some restriction on it. I don't think it's straight up. If your company already has pre-installed StudioX, then your company will have an Orchestrator account, either on-prem or in the cloud. So for you to be able to connect it to Orchestrator, though you can also connect, so it depends on the permissions or restrictions that are in place. Maybe you need to meet your IT department. But normally, you should be able to connect a Studio application on your desktop to any Orchestrator account, except there are restrictions by organization. Okay. Yeah, so yes, you're downloading the right file. Sorry. Someone is asking a question. Yeah, you can see this 1.1 gigs. You're downloading the right file. You can I already have my. Someone is sending a screenshot. Okay, Deepak says installed now. Wow, beautiful. I think you're the only one that is not installed before now. Subham. Yes, after downloading, you will need to open it and go through the steps. Part of the steps of setting it up will involve you installing your UiPath extensions and your Excel add-in. Yes, Adrian, close all your Chrome instances.
While everyone wants to install the extensions, make sure your Excel and your browser are closed. Install the extensions for your dedicated browser, then for Excel, add in as well, and then restart the programs. So you can restart the browser afterwards and open Excel when you will need it. You will not need Excel in this session, I think. Perhaps later on.
So yeah, you can do that later on, Adrian. You can do that later on. Just get to know how to do it so that you don't leave this session. I guess you joined the session via Zoom on your browser. Okay, so you can do that later, Adrian. Then someone says, should we install all extensions? No, no, no. Your dedicated browser, if you're a Chrome person, install for Chrome. I normally do my automations on Edge. It's because I had to do a demo for somebody. I install that. You don't need to install all of them. So for Edge, Leticia, it's easy. It's easy. I'm going to go back again. I'm going to go back again. I'm going to close all of this. So let's assume that you've already installed Studio and you're here and you forgot or somehow missed enabling your browser extensions. So you're going to open UiPath Studio. No, loop 427063. You don't need to install the same extension like me. If you use Chrome, if Chrome is your dedicated browser, install only for Chrome. If it's Edge, install for Edge. If it's Firefox, install for Firefox. Okay, Letitia, you said you've already installed StudioX. Okay, so this is what you should see when you open the application. Can you see my screen? Okay, so click on Tools. Go to Uipath Extensions. Are you there, Letitia? Okay, done. Now, install the Uipath extension for your dedicated browser. Do you use Chrome, Firefox, or Edge? Okay, so locate Edge and click on the install button. Deepak, you use Chrome, locate Chrome, click on the install button for Chrome. You've done that. When you're doing that, you need to ensure the browser, wow, yours don't have an install button. How is that possible? So what does it say? Does it say uninstall? If it says uninstall, it means it's already installed. There should be a button there. It should either show uninstall or uninstall. Can you confirm that, Letitia, before we move on? We have, oh, your browser is managed by your administrator. Okay, you may need to meet with your IT department to get the right permissions. But just take note of how you add the extension so that when you are able to do that, okay, Chrome extension is working. Okay, nice. Maybe you do that for Chrome then. Yes, one browser is enough. That browser is what you're going to use to do your web automation. Okay, then lastly, Letitia, ensure you, I hope you have permissions to do this for your Excel. Ensure Excel is closed and then click on the install button. You can see at the bottom of the screen, Excel add-in. Yeah, nice, Letitia. Okay, Adrian, if you can do it with Edge, then install the Edge extension. Check if you can do it with Edge and install the Edge extension. Everyone, if you're done with your browser extension, please ensure that you install your Excel add-in. Yes, Vipin, you need to use a VM or a Windows machine, or you have a Windows server somewhere you can RDP to. CloudView, I'm not sure if we'll be able to wait for you. So just, you can watch this video, the video recording of this session later. So you can do that. Okay, we have 32 more minutes for this session. We need to quickly do a demo. So once you have these installed, right, you can go back to your start menu. Okay, go back to your start menu and you can click on this new. Are you with me? For every one of us that has installed Studio, please listen carefully. You may want to do this with me, but I'm going to be very fast because we need enough time for Q&A. Okay. Now, click on your start screen. This is the start screen. click on new and take blank task. Yes, okay, sorry. Let's attend to those for the profile. For profile, Neshe, can you go to settings? Thank you for reminding me. Go to settings, go to license and profile. Okay, I'll start again. When you open Studio, this is what you meet. So click on settings. Deepak, are you with me? Settings, license and profile, then change profile. Change profile. If you click on that, you're going to see this. So there are two profiles you can use on Studio as a desktop application. But since you are a seasoned developer, you're going to go for StudioX. So click on this StudioX, and it's going to tell you it's going to restart the application because mine is already in Studio. So just for the sake of those who may be confused, I'm going to switch and do mine from the beginning again. So I'm going to repeat everything I've said so far. Click on settings, click on license and profile, click on change profile. You are a business user, you're a citizen developer. So click on Uipath StudioX, tells you profile was changed. Do you want to restart now? Take yes. So the application is going to restart. And voila, we're here. Okay. Are we on the same page now? If you know you are on the same page with me to start or create a new project, can you type yes on the chat quickly? Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Amaya. Ubaide. Wow, great. Who those guys? Okay, so click on new. I'm going to be fast. This I'm trying to do today. Nidhi is going to take time to show you step by step of what you need to do for UI automation in 2 days' time, that's Thursday. So like Christina said at the beginning of this session, please ensure that you register for that session. So please take note of that. Sorry, this is just a demo. It's just a demo. You're going to do a hands-on session with Nidhi on Thursday. So please ensure you register for that session. Nidhi is a wonderful trainer, and she's going to take you step by step. It's going to be a hands-on session, and at the end of the session, you will have built a project, okay? Now, I'm going to click on new. Again, I start again, click on new, take blank task, just watch. You can watch what I'm doing. You can look at the recording data and try to do it, okay? Because we have less time on our hands now. So I'm going to start again, click on new, take blank task. It's going to bring out the blank task dialog, and you can type in the process name. We want to do a bot called Find My Unicorn Name. Okay. So we're going to build a bot that will access a unicorn name generator page. I'm going to paste the URL in the chat. That's the URL I'm using. I'm going to send it to everyone. Okay. And this is the page. Let me close this. This is the page. This is what you're going to see. Now, let's assume this is a business task that I need to type in a name here and type in the month of my birthday. When I click on this, it generates a unicorn name for me. Okay. So let's assume for this particular demo, this short demo, I have an Excel file that has these, the name and the birthday, and I want the bot to get my unicorn name and insert it into this at the end of the day, right? So I'm going to close this now and go back to Studio and create what we need to create. So right here, I'm going to type find my unicorn name, okay? And we'll just say this is a demo process. And you click on create. So Studio is going to set the project up for you, not the various dependencies. You don't need to bother yourself about all of this. Studio creates the workspace for you. And Studio creates that for you, then you can start automation. You don't need to bother yourself about all that's going on at the background, okay? Now, remember, while this is setting up, I already have the browser page opened here. I'm going to refresh this so that it wipes away what is on the screen. I used to test run. Okay, so I'm all set up. Let's quickly look at parts of the screen. So you have your design menu and you have the design ribbon. So this ribbon shows some of the important icons you'll be using on that design. And then you have your activities pane on the left. Under activities pane, you're going to see resources. So basically everything you're going to be doing on StudioX makes use of activities. And activities are in two categories. We'll have the resources. For example, use application browser will enable you to automate the UI of a desktop application or a web application via your browser. Then this resource will allow you to automate desktop Outlook when in terms of mail automation, email automation. This will enable you to do Excel automation. Then use Gmail with a resource that allows you to do Gmail automation. Then there's use Outlook 365, use PowerPoint presentation, use Word file. So for our next session, we'll be using this. Nidhi is going to use this. For the third session, you're going to be taught how to do Excel automation and Word automation. And for the last session, you're going to be taught how to do mail automation, email automation using desktop Outlook or Gmail. Okay, so these resources, along with other activities that are categorized based on their purpose. So we have for Excel automation, we have all of these activities. You're going to be meeting them in other sessions. And then for web automation, that I'm going to do a quick demo on, we're going to be seeing a couple of activities. So all these activities represent steps or actions that your robot will take while the automation runs. So I'm short on time now. So quickly, I'm going to open the project folder and okay. Let me see. Yeah, the project folder. This is the project folder. I'm going to copy that Excel file I showed you a while ago. I'm going to copy it here. What I'm doing, I want to be able to package this and send it to you when I'm done. Okay. Then, okay. Now, I'm going to go back to Studio. Since I want to use an Excel file, remember now, I want to use an Excel file. So what happens? What should I do? I need to use a resource for Excel. And since I want my bot to also interact, sorry, I'm going to close this. Since I also want my bot to interact with this web page, I'm also going to use a resource for that. So first and first, drag use Excel file there quickly. And I'm going to navigate to the file. So you see, I've written no code so far. So that's the file. I'm going to reference it as Excel file. And then I'm going to now drag in my use application browser inside the Excel resource. And it tells me indicate application to automate. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to, sorry, let me ensure, I don't want to show you how to pause yet. I'm going to bring this up and go back to Studio. Click on this. So this is on my screen. So the browser extension installed on Edge or Chrome is what allows Studio to be able to integrate with your dedicated browser. So you can see it says select, click to select browser. Click on that, and what does it do? You see it's been able to pick the URL of the web page, put it here, and I can see a picture of the page there. So what do I want to do? I want my bot to type a name and then put the month and click on this. So quickly, I'm going to use a type into. So this is a type into for the bot. So type into here. And it says indicates on the page where the bot will type into. I'll quickly click on this. It gets the anchor. I don't need to do anything but validate. It says okay, and I confirm. Okay, so what is it going to type? So the value to type, I'm going to click on this, select the Excel file, and indicate in Excel, and this is it. Type this name and then confirm. And then I move on to the next activity, which is to select from that drop down. So I'm going to drag in, select item, and indicate on the browser, this is it. Click on it. Searches for the anchor. I'm going to validate and confirm. Then what value should it type there? Click on this plus button, select the Excel file we are using, indicate in Excel, click on the birthday month cell, confirm. And next thing I need to click. So I search for the click activity, add it, and indicates where this is it. And I'm going to validate it and confirm. Now, if I do this, like I did before, and select a month and do this, it generates it. I want to get this back and place into the Excel. And so I'll go back to Studio quickly and get text. So I'm going to drag this here inside and indicate. So this is the UI elements I want to get from the screen. Validate, click on this. It's been a breeze, right? Now, where is it going to save it to? Click on this button, select my Excel file, indicate in Excel. I want you to put it in this cell, and I confirm. Right. So we are good to go. Let's quickly run this and see whether it works. So here, Adam, June does that, Radiant Cloud Jumper. So it's done. Let's check. Can you see this? So this is a quick demonstration of how you can easily build a bot and you've automated a business task. So this is just a quick demo. Sorry, it's too fast. We are out of time. You can watch the recording later and try to do it, right? It's just a demo. Nidhi is going to patiently take you step by step in the next session, and our other MVPs will handle the third and the fourth sessions, okay? So you are in very good hands, okay? Thank you very much. So at this point, we've done a demo. We're going to move now to our Menti quiz. We're going to hand over to Christina. And while we do the quiz, I'm going to package this automation and drop it here. Remember, there is a thread for our Summer School. I'm going to drop it on this page so that you can download and look at it when you watch the video. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Thank you, Afe. And just to make sure, in the exercise you're dropping, it also contains the Excel file? The one you dropped in the forum thread?
Yes.
Okay, so the Excel file will be there because I saw everyone had questions. Link for the recording you will have after the session. The link for recording is the event link from which you registered. So everyone who has registered for this session will have access to recording and to the presentation as well. To the resources as well, you will find them in the dedicated forum thread. We will give that again before the end of the session. So do not worry about that. You will have all the resources to do this exercise. You can also have the Academy link, and you will pull through this exercise, so do not worry. In the forum dedicated thread, you will receive all the help you need. So do not worry about that. Let's go to the Mentimeter quiz now, and then we'll go back a bit to Afe. Okay, so this is where we left off with the Mentimeter quiz. This is our last leaderboard. So let's go to the next question now. This is question 3 out of 4. Don't forget to answer fast. So which of the following is not one of the 3 core components of the UiPath RPA platform? Okay, let's maybe wait a bit, because I see, okay, we have everyone in the quiz room, because for me it appears like you guys are here, but I've seen you still joining. Link for the quiz room, www.menti.com. Okay, we'll wait a bit for everyone who jumped out of the quiz room to re-enter. This is the code. Okay. You have the code now? Okay. I think you should have gotten into the quiz room by now. Okay. Let's see. So we have 67. Oh my God. We have, let's see. This is the last. Okay, guys. Wait a bit, I'm going to stop sharing to fix the quiz. Let's see if it works now. Okay, guys, it seems like we're going to have to jump to, because we have a bug in the quiz now. So we're going to have to jump to the 4th question. Sorry for that. Okay. So, okay, let's go. Choose the option below that is not a development profile on the Studio desktop application. So we have Uipath StudioX, Uipath Citizen Developer, Uipath Studio. So this is not a development profile on the desktop application. Remember, we just showed you how to switch profiles into the software. Okay, yes, that's a great answer. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry for jumping a question, but unfortunately, we could not go through that. Let's see the final leaderboard now. I think we have the same number 1, but number 2 and 3 are different. Okay, so congratulations to Nazli, to Heartstorm and Mitrun as well. please give me in direct message your email addresses in Zoom. Yes, so please DM me with your email addresses and congrats. Now I'm going to stop sharing. And Afe, would you like to continue?
Okay. Yeah, so it's question time. Let's move there again. So do we have questions? Let's entertain a few questions and then we'll tell you next steps. Next steps on your journey.
Okay, so at this point, everyone is able to unmute. So please unmute yourselves if you want to ask questions. I see we have a raised hand already. So Ubalde.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys. So my question is on because I read on the profile that Studio has unattended and unattended robots. Does it mean that StudioX cannot create unattended robots as well, or was it just for a summary context?
Okay, so StudioX is best suited for creating automated attended automations, but notwithstanding, I have built stuff using StudioX, deployed on Orchestrator, they run on schedule without actually being attended. So it's like a shovel looks like a spade, or shovel looks like a spoon, but that doesn't mean it is best suited to use to eat, right? So you use a spoon to eat, and you use the shovel for what it's best for. So StudioX is best for you to create attended automations, but nevertheless, you can also use it to create unattended automation. But you won't have as much features that you want to pack into an unattended automation. So because StudioX profile is just meant for you to automate business tasks, not really complex processes.
Okay. All right. I'll take baby steps then. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice for you to take baby steps. So just giving you a bit of context, I know two persons who attended sessions like this organized by UiPath in 2020, another one in 2021. They started with StudioX, but they've now moved to Studio. So just take it step by step and get your RPA journey on track. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
I could
Okay.
have a question, if it is okay, if we still have time. Leticia here. May I ask?
Okay.
Okay.
You're free. You're free.
Thank you. It is possible to create a robot that can be shared with colleagues in case I am on vacation and I need someone to execute this process?
Of course. So when you build your bot and you deploy to Orchestrator, you can put it in a shared folder on Orchestrator. So those are things you learn if you go to the Citizen Developer Foundation course on Academy. So there is a shared folder on Orchestrator that you can deploy the bot to. So if you have other users on that same Orchestrator instance, take for instance, if it's your organization, then you deploy it to the shared folder, then your other colleagues can have access to that bot and they can run it when you're not around. Is that okay?
I'm not sure, but thank you very much. I try to.
Yeah, so that's a bit advanced, but you need to go step by step. So it's something that is doable. So just go step by step, you get it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Just to add to Afe's point also, so if you really want to share your automations with your colleagues, there are two other products that comes into the picture. The one is the Orchestrator. The Orchestrator is again what Afe mentioned. You can publish your code to the Orchestrator and anyone from your organization can download it and run it. The second one is if your organization is already using something called as Automation Hub, it is also used to manage the automation across the team or across the organization. So these are the two options available.
Mm-hmm. And for the Orchestrator, do I need to, after I am finished with the bot, I have to publish this process and then to upload it to the orchestrator? Or do you have a demo video how to do this? Or how can I see an example how does it work?
I think this
Okay,
is a
so
bit advanced for now as a question. So perhaps
yeah,
in the following sessions, Leticia will prepare this as well. I think we have some tutorial videos on this, but this is way too advanced for this first session. So
Okay.
let's perhaps wait a little more, and towards the end, like session 4, we will also take care of these questions, like how to share, how to transition projects and stuff like this. But this is just introduction to automation. So first,
Okay,
let's
no
make sure
problem.
everyone at least gets to build a bot. Yes.
yeah,
Yes, I am a bit impatient. Sorry.
No, totally justified. I totally get you, but just to make sure we follow the right steps and to get through with today's session and make sure everyone gets at least to session 3, 4, and then yes, of course, we'll talk about these projects.
Okay,
yeah. Thank
fine.
you.
Thank you very much.
We have
You're
2 more raised hands. John, would you unmute, please?
Yeah, thanks. I seem to have a challenge with opening new tasks. It takes a very long time. I measured this morning again, 7, 8 minutes every time I click on new task. And this is something that I tested before the session. I restarted the application. It still does the same thing. I don't know if you have any tips or tricks on something my cache I should clean or anything like that.
Okay, so I'm thinking, what's the RAM size of your system?
16 gig.
Wow, so you shouldn't be experiencing that at all.
Yeah, it's a workstation as
Um,
well, so processing shouldn't be the issue.
yes, so maybe we'll have to do it outside of these. Can we, outside of this session, because we're running out of time. So
Sure.
there is a forum thread. So I'm still sharing my screen. Let me just quickly do that. So for all of us that have questions, there's a forum thread. Let me refresh for this program and events. So I've already uploaded the bot I built as a demo for this session, and then there are next steps here. So please join the Citizen Developer chapter and then register for session 2. Nidhi is going to do a wonderful job for us on Thursday. And then next thing, so this is UiPath Citizen Developers chapter. Please ensure you join. The link is already here. And then this is UiPath Academy. Ensure that you register for this course, RPA Citizen Developer Foundation. So what we've done today is to get started with Studio, and we looked at a couple of things. So try and look at this lesson before Thursday, where Nidhi will be taking us through UiPath, taking us through UI automation with StudioX. Okay. So if you have questions, please drop them on this thread so that everyone can attend to you, fellow participants, community managers, academic staff, as well as the MVPs will attend to you here. Then for who asked the question just now about the slow?
That would be me.
Okay, so just drop a message here so that I can attend to you one-on-one after the session. Is that okay?
Appreciate it. Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
Okay, hand over to you now, Christina. I think I
We have
am
one
done.
more question from Amael. Let's see if he wants to unmute, and we'll close with that one. Amael,
Okay.
would you like to unmute?
Yes. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear you.
we can.
Hey, I was having issues again with the orchestrator because for some reason the version of the UiPath community won't be able, I mean, the system won't let me install it on the computer because we already have a pre-installed version. So my question is like, would I be able to have like a good experience, not be able to connect to the orchestrator for the whole training session, or would there be something I need to reach out to my IT department to have this installed to have like a better experience?
Okay, so I know you may not know the version of the Studio installed, but you said Studio is already installed on your machine, right? So
Yes.
can you open it and switch to the StudioX profile? That will still allow you to do all we need to do.
Yeah, I'm able to do that. I just won't be able to run it from the orchestrator and see other things. I mean, it's pretty basic. Just create
Yeah,
the platform.
that's still a bit advanced. So
Okay.
first of all, we want to learn how to create bots, efficient bots that can run from Studio. Then
Okay.
the next step, as Christina said during the last session, we can show you how you can deploy it to Orchestrator. And if we just have a demo for that, and then you can get the necessary permissions. They need to create your user on the company's or your organization's Orchestrator instance, and then give you the necessary permissions to run stuff in your personal workspace phone.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
Thank
just
you,
take it
guys.
step by step. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So everyone, I'm going to share some links with you now, like what you need to do in follow-up to make sure we get right to the second session and through the upcoming sessions. So first of all, as I said in the beginning, please make sure everyone is also registered for session 2. Yes, StudioX Fred. You just received the link in the chat. Please take the link from there and register now for the event for session 2, which will be so now it's Tuesday. This will be on Thursday, session 2, same hour, same Zoom link, but make sure you are registered in the platform so you can access the recording and the presentation. So you must be registered for the event in order to have access to resources. So please confirm to me that you guys are registered for the second session of the StudioX thread. The next thing we have prepared for you is, of course, this dedicated forum thread. So this dedicated forum thread, if you're not familiar already with the UiPath forum, this is like the cradle, the hub of our community, where all the developers, mentors, community staff, program managers, product managers are here to help you. So just make sure you also follow this forum thread. So get on forum and make sure you are following this forum thread. And ask questions, collaborate with your peers there. You can share screenshots of the problems you are having. The team will watch this forum thread closely, so you can collaborate and ask your questions on this forum thread. This is for interaction and for you to have a place to interact with each other and share your problems, yes? The other thing is, of course, so you are now registered for session 2, let's say you are following the forum thread. What next is important for you is, of course, UiPath Academy for resources. This will be the place where you can follow through even after these 4 sessions. So you enter on UiPath Academy, going to Learning by Role, let's say, and you will find RPA Citizen Developer Foundation. This would be your dedicated course to complete on Academy once this program Summer School is over. So as you enter in RPA Citizen Developer Foundation, I'm going to give you the link now. And this is the course that Afe was talking about. So you have this course on Academy. You can start enrolling on it now, but you will only have to do with it perhaps after the program is over. So as you see, you have here the first course, which is getting started with StudioX. Academy is totally free platform. So it's free training, a bit more complex than what we are doing here. So it will be easier for you to get through the summer school program, get through the end and get your diploma at the end quiz of the program, and then to follow through with these academy courses. You can also go into these courses and check them out now as we follow along with the program to see the resources and the text contained in the courses. So with all the links I shared with you now, like I shared with you earlier on the Citizen Developer chapter, session 2, you should be registered for it. Forum thread, this is the place where you ask questions and get help. And of course, the Academy class for citizen developers. So you should be all set now to have a very successful automation journey, which we just started today, and I'm very glad for that. I'm very glad you are here in a large number and so interactive as well. So you can share with us on the forum thread feedback and a few opinions about how we did today, what we can do better, of course. So please do not forget about us or join session 2. And yes, thank you very much for today. Thank you very much, Afe. Thank you very much, Nidhi, for all your help. And I think we can
Thank you,
now close. And the recording and the
Thank you, everyone.
presentation will
Thank
be
you.
available on Eventlink. Yes. Thank you. It was a great day today.
Sorry for interrupting you. Like
Thank you.
in
You have a great day.
Indian standard time, what is the next timing, please? For the next section.
I'd like to take a snapshot of everybody.
If you want to, yes, to open your cameras so we can take a snapshot or like to have a good picture for beginning the program, that would be nice. So who wants to join us? Thank you. Okay. So we can see the team. Oh, that's so beautiful. Very nice, very nice. So guys, don't worry. Maybe it seemed a little much today, but you're going to pull through. So with all the resources we have, I'm sure you will take the journey with us in automation. Okay, so I'm going to take the group picture now. We still have a few who need to open their cameras. Come on.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you on
Bye-bye.
Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.